And good Thursday morning. It's the 12th of February, and it is a beautiful day here in Bardstown. A little bit of sun breaking through those clouds. Thanks for listening to your hometown radio station. My name is Ryan Hack, broadcasting to you live from the Colton Steakhouse and Grill studio. Joined here for a chamber chat by Elliot here, Elliot Newland, with a guest who I believe your name is Amy. I'm gonna. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. It took every bit
Great
of
memory.
my brain power to recall that. And speaking of recall, it's funny, Elliot, that you're here because I know that you play a big role in something cool coming up that has to do not with. I guess recalling some facts. We'll talk about that maybe later. I want to ask you about that before you go here today.
Absolutely.
But first off, just introduce yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Elliot Newland, and I am with Bardstown County Chamber of Commerce, and I am the programs and membership coordinator. So that's anywhere from all the programs that we lead, Civics Bee Ambassador Program, Young Professionals Program, and then dealing with the memberships in a way of I'm the first person you meet, right? So you join the chamber, I reach out to you, visit you. So yeah, that's me.
Gotcha.
Kind of in a nutshell.
Okay. And Amy, what about yourself?
My name is Amy Smith-Sissel. I am the owner and designer with Amy D Designs, going on my 9th year, I think, in business.
Yeah.
I'm local and living towards the New Haven area, but service a pretty large area in central Kentucky.
Gotcha. Okay, which is pretty cool. I guess if folks are wanting to find out more about you, just because I myself, I'm scratching my brain here trying to think if I've heard before. Where could I find more information?
Sure. On the chamber website, I'll be on the directory.
Yes.
I also have a website, www.amyddesigns.com, and that is also what all my social media follows. So Facebook, Amy D Designs, and Instagram, Amy_D_designs or something like that. But yeah, social media typically, but always ask Elliot if there's any questions too.
Gotcha. So you said you're on that directory. Elliot, do you, so is that a thing that folks, I guess when they come to you to join the chamber, and do they always enjoy that perk there of being on that directory?
Absolutely. That's a huge benefit. So we print off hundreds of directory paper form, and then also it's on our website under the directory tab. But yeah, it's a great way to get our members out there. If you're just kind of browsing around, looking for a certain business that can handle your needs, such as interior design, that is where you can find it. Yes, so, and that goes out to all of our members, but even if you're not a member, you're more than welcome to stop by the office and pick up a directory or go to our website to find all of our members.
Gotcha. So were you helping Amy get involved with the chamber?
So actually, Amy, and I'll let her talk a bit more about this, she kind of came in before my time with the chamber. I've only been with the chamber, I think, going on 4 years now, which is wild. But from what I understand is that Amy started out maybe like 2 years or 3 years before that, maybe?
Yes. And trying to get back into Bardstown, Nelson County. Born and raised here. Went off for college and several career projects, and when I was ready to come back to Bardstown, Nelson County, I reached out to the chamber and actually Randy Mauser when she was still at the Kentucky Standard, and then she transitioned soon after that into the Main Street program. But that's really where I started, and that's been 10 or 11 years ago probably.
Gotcha. And so what did that process look like?
Reaching out to people like Randy, was not maybe as familiar at the time with who was in charge of the chamber or who was running it at that time, but became quick connections through just a single avenue like that, because they're so open to meeting new people and having people come in, introduce themselves, introduce their businesses. So it was a really quick connection at that point. But it's really just reaching out, just very simply, quick Google search, Nelson County Chamber, Bardstown Chamber. If you're interested in learning about other businesses or learning about the chamber, because there's someone there all the time to help explain or, introduce themselves. I send people there all the time. Clients that move here from out of town, that's a really big one too. We have a lot of people that move to Bardstown, and a lot of my clients are from out of town and don't know where to start looking for a job or looking for other resources just across the board, and just referring them to the chamber gives them a professional, what's what I'm looking for, reputable businesses that they recommend.
Gotcha. So you'd say that when it came to you as a business owner reaching out to the chamber, it was definitely a pretty big yes mindset when it comes to, we'll meet you. We'll
absolutely,
show you what's going on. And then not just for businesses or entrepreneurs who want to reach out and try and get involved with the chamber. The chamber has resources for even just residents in the community who might just be looking for employment, stuff like that.
Yes.
And, obviously maybe just looking for some recommendations.
Yeah, and I'll kind of just plug in here real quick. So on our website, on our chamber website, we do have a job page to where our members can go in and post open availability that they have, whatever that they're needing. And then residents, whoever, can go on our website and look for jobs. Like I said, you don't have to be a member to access the website. Anybody can go on there and search, kind of just by category. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
So people in the chamber, member businesses, can put their job listings on there for people to find.
Absolutely. And if you are a member listening and don't know how to do that, give me a call. Or Lisa or Tania, and I can walk you through. I can come to your business and show you how to do that. We will be starting, I believe, next month, kind of. In the past, we called it kind of new member benefits, but it's kind of going to be more of exploring their online portal and things that they might not know that they can do, such as do job postings, look at other chamber news. So I'm going to be starting those classes. So stay tuned for that. But yes, all good stuff.
So really, at its core, the chamber seeks to kind of bridge, the gap between businesses and community members, provide a space, provide communication so that, I guess you guys can function more as a community rather than in different silos. And you're doing that obviously through, bringing people on to get the benefits you provide of connecting with one another. But those benefits, those don't just look like, sharing, promoting them on your directories or letting them post their job listings. There's plenty of other stuff that you guys do as well, like your connect events and stuff.
The networking.
Yes.
Yeah, that back then was the beginning avenue. Those were first steps for me. How do I get involved? Where and with who? And for them and their events, it encompasses such a large pool of businesses and people, and just that opportunity to walk in comfortably, I'll add, and be introduced and just begin these relationships with people. I don't think then I knew 100% that I was starting a business even. It was even before then. I just knew I was ready to come back, and knew that I had a friend in Randy, but even more so that she began that connection, from Main Street to the chamber and beyond. But the not knowing, and I probably was looking for a job even, what that looked like and what the opportunities were.
Lots of opportunities.
Lots of them. And there are different events that you guys put on. You have the awards that you do to highlight people in the community.
Yes, absolutely. And that is coming up. It should be on the top of my brain.
So while you're looking for that, just again, the
February
awards,
26th.
The 26th is when that's happening. And so those awards, it's a big get-together for a lot of people in the community who contribute to it, and it helps to highlight those who, again, continue to go above and beyond, whether that's as business owners or, I mean, you can shed more light on it, surely.
Yeah, absolutely. So the annual dinner is just time to where we recognize our members and also the kind of people in the community that are making differences, right? So whether that be young entrepreneurs, kind of new businesses starting out, right? Kind of just highlighting those existing businesses, both big and small. And then we kind of have just kind of a main overall kind of person of the year, if you will, that kind of has stepped out of kind of done a little bit more over the years and kind of well established, if you will.
The Chamber MVP.
There you go. Yeah,
that's a really good way of putting it.
Yeah, Chamber MVP. I like that. But no, it's great. It's a night filled of awards. We do it at Log Still, and beautiful venue, full dinner buffet, a great MC. So it's just a great night where other members can kind of also meet other members, network. Again, another networking opportunity, and just kind of have fun, just kind of celebrate everybody in the chamber.
Yeah, of course.
All in one night, so that's good.
And not only do you have networking events like that, but the Chamber also supports a number of things in the community, not just, for businesses, but also for the employees as well. You guys offer some different programs for insurance, correct? Or for health-related?
Yes, that is correct, right. So we are linked up through Chamber Insurance through a couple of the insurance companies around town. You can contact me or go on our website for a full list of those. If you are interested, if you are a business that is interested in offering insurance to your employees, we offer that. Like I said, we don't write the insurance, obviously, but we do have a partnership with people who do. And then we also are connected with Blue Mine here, which is another. It's not an insurance type of per se, but it is. It's a monthly fee that covers your whole family. And it's kind of more of a walk-in type care.
Right.
But yes, there's tons of insurance
healthcare,
opportunities.
related things.
Workman's comp. We also have connections with that too as well.
So what sort of perks, Amy, have you really found most advantageous as being a part of the chamber and a part of this community?
I think the networking has always been key for me. Working alone too, or just being a one-person business, it also is some camaraderie in there, like getting to go have an evening, even at 5 p.m. or 5 p.m. connects.
Yep,
okay. Just getting to stop in after work, say hi, how are you, catch up with friends. I mean, these people have become very close friends of mine too. Amy
has also been an amazing chamber ambassador in the past too.
I'm a true believer of it, and I think, I appreciate they reach back out, and I know that's not just to me, but they keep their members in mind when things arise and other opportunities with other, they may know that someone needs something, and they'll reach out and say, hey, can I give your information? And things like that are, optimal when you want to be local and service your local community. But those networking opportunities, I served on the board pretty early on, somewhere in between, and then kind of helped with some things along the way, young professionals here and there. But I think for me, those were the important. Yeah.
And those haven't just been things that have necessarily helped you, succeed business-wise, but again, as you mentioned, you've developed a connection to people in this community. You have people you can call friends from this,
absolutely.
Which is a pretty big deal, especially when, as obviously money's involved and stuff like that. Instead of looking like, cutthroat competition here in Bardstown and Nelson County, it's looking more like collaboration.
Absolutely. I call them my colleagues. I mean, I always have, because we work so closely together in multiple scenarios, whether you're volunteering or helping throw a really good fun party, which we've done in the past,
Right.
and or annual dinner, you're sitting at a table with 10 other people that you've gotten to collaborate with in some form or fashion, and a couple that you've never met before, so you're just having a good time. I mean, I've appreciated it, in multiple ways.
It's a really good group of people like-minded that are wanting to connect on the same way, right? So when you get a lot of people that have that same mindset together, amazing things in relationships and
you're growing together a lot of times.
Yeah, exactly.
Too.
Can happen.
Several people, entrepreneurs, business owners, came in kind of at the same time, and I feel like we really grew together in those business aspects and personal aspects and just growth in general. And so that was fun too. I will also mention something that reminded me last week. Also, we took a trip to Frankfurt for Small Business Day.
Yes, absolutely.
Last week.
Yes.
And so even things like that they'll say, would you like to go with us? And you're recognized on a state level at that
Absolutely.
point. So many different things that they do to get their chamber members out in the community and in front of people on a larger stage even.
You'd mentioned just kind of in passing there collaborating and volunteering. And so I guess I want to ask you, what are some instances where you've, I guess, been allowed to collaborate with other chamber members, or things that the chamber's done that you've volunteered to help out with? Just some examples of what the chamber has helped you guys facilitate.
Events are probably one of the larger ones, because without the help of group members and people who want to see that come together, it's hard to get anything accomplished. And I've sat at multiple tables where volunteering really is the root of what they're able to drive. And so volunteerism, I think, is just huge in anything that you're a part of. And so for the chamber, I think that's probably the larger thing is events.
We love our volunteers.
And just help, even at 5 p.m.s, someone signing people in and doing name tag. I mean, just really simple things, but without, that person stepping up and saying, I'll do this Wednesday, it's very helpful to them too.
Very helpful. Yes.
And so events like that, and we've talked about that some, but what are some of the events that people might not necessarily, I guess, when they think about the chamber, they might not necessarily know that you guys have a hand in, things like that?
Annual dinner. There's usually bourbon related things for Bourbon Week, right? Is there?
So, Cheers to Bardstown.
There we go.
Which is a pretty big event here in town that we link up with Main Street and tourism and a lot of other community members to kind of help put that big bash on, right?
Right. You guys help facilitate that one.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. And then the National Civics Bee, which I kind of will touch a little bit about. That's a big program that we put on here that a lot of people might not know about.
Young Leaders.
Yeah, Young Leaders, which is a program of a group of sophomores with schools around Nelson County. And it's kind of like a Leadership Nelson County for adults, but like on a smaller scale. It's a half a day, but they go around to local businesses and just kind of get a behind the scenes, which is a phenomenal program that's actually currently going on right now. I'm sure there's a lot more that I'm
they
forgetting.
host a lot of classes. I mean,
yeah, we also offer professional development classes that we call Accelerate classes that we link up with professors from ECTC that come in that are available to our members.
Right. These aren't just, how can we figure out how to make more money, things. These are how can we develop and support our community.
Exactly.
And, especially with the Civics Bee, that's a huge thing, a huge opportunity you guys are doing for students in our area.
Absolutely, it is.
Small business at Christmas time.
Yep.
Small business Saturday. You guys do
Small
something
Business
with
Saturday.
that.
Yeah, we reach out to all the local businesses around town, kind of have them donate some stuff to put in like kind of a swag bag, if you will, and then
You do.
and anybody from the community come and pick it up, and it just gets people out back into the community shopping, right? That's our biggest thing. Is we want, at the end of the day, we're a resource system, right? So we're here to help businesses big and small be successful and get people into your businesses.
Absolutely.
So,
with the, I guess you said you're a resource system, you're looking at this whole board. If Nelson County of Bardstown is a board, you have all these different pieces, all these different businesses and people.
Sure.
How do we get them moving together and working together towards some common goals? And whether or not that's just encouraging shopping local, or whether or not that's focusing these resources we have in the community towards some goals like, again, the Civics Bee, which I think we should definitely talk some about with the time we've got left here. If you want to tell us all about the Civics Bee coming up.
yeah, absolutely. So the Civics Bee, I know Lisa talked a little bit about last time, but just kind of some cliff notes about it. The U.S. Chamber piloted this about 4 years ago. And the intent is to get students engaged in civics and world politics and legislation. So, because I know that, I've heard that some of that may be lacking, and a lot of kids don't know. So this is just an opportunity for them to write essays about an issue that's going on in their community that involves legislation. Whether it be kind of addiction, homelessness, sustainability with like recycling, or just a few school bullying, those types of topics. Anyways, what they do is they write an essay about it, and they put it into a portal. And then they're judged. And then it's brought down to a top 20. Then the top 20 will go compete locally on March 28th at 10 a.m. at Thomas Nelson High School to compete for first, second, and third place, which are cash rewards. Again, it's a great program. And for the students and teachers listening and parents, the deadline has been extended until the 17th. Midnight of the 17th to get your essays submitted, and then after that process, then they'll be judged by judges kind of all over the country in a portal online type of way, and then I'll get the numbers back to me, and then I'll have a top 20.
17th of this month?
Yes, I'm sorry, the 17th of February.
Gotcha. So they have through the rest of this week, really, and the start of next week to get those essays submitted. Where can they find information on how to do that?
So absolutely. So they can go to the Chamber website, and then right on the home page, you scroll down on the right-hand side, there's a link to our kind of overview of the Civics Bee. It kind of has some educator toolkits, has live event photos, dates, things like that. Which also you can access the portal, but also the Civic Trust website. You can find information at the U.S. Chamber website too as well, and Kentucky Chamber.
Of course. The Civics Bee is a remarkable thing because these middle school students get up there and they're answering questions and writing on topics that, obviously, I think the biggest thing you feel if you're just seeing it is, wow, it's impressive how we're, helping to develop our youth. It's impressive how these students know about these things, can talk about these things. It is embarrassing the way they're getting all these questions right that I am so
amazing.
Glad that I don't have to.
And these questions are hard.
Yes, they are.
And what's cool is the parents and guardians can play too, right? Mm-hmm. So as the kids are answering in kind of like a spelling bee format of questions on a tablet to get down to the final five, but the parents and guardians can play along. You're answering the same questions, and then we offer a little prize for the adults too at the end.
Oh, that's fun.
Which is fun because and it's also educational, right?
Right.
Because you're also learning as you're answering the questions and probably getting them wrong.
Yeah.
But no, it's I love the program. Lisa kind of started it off, and then it was kind of given to me for the past 3 years, and I really fallen in love with it. I really love being able to have this program to where we can offer to our students to be more knowledgeable about civics.
Well, I do believe we're running short on time here, so I guess any final notes that either you want to leave with us here today, Amy, whether that's a final thought you have about the chamber, about, I guess, experience you've had, as you say, you came back to Bardstown, and I guess maybe the welcome home you might have received. And Elliot, anything else you might want to mention to us that you have coming up?
Just so the next thing that we have coming up is we have our next 5 p.m. Connect. It is going to be on February 18th at 5 p.m. at the Guthrie Opportunity Center and On the Rocks Bartendering and Catering. Again, come out, network. It's a great time. There'll be refreshments, good conversations, and some beverages. So it's always a... Go ahead.
While
sorry.
you were discussing that, and part of what I was going to say already, I encourage that if people see that on Facebook or they hear you talk about it and they're not a member, to come anyways.
Yes,
and introduce themselves. They walk in the door and just say, I'm here to see what this is all about, because then, again, that welcoming, early introduction type thing is what they're all about.
Yes, I'm glad you said that. Yes.
Do not have to be a member to come on the 18th.
Correct.
Please come and let
Don't
us know
hesitate.
who you are.
Yes.
And what I was going to say prior to that, but worked out perfectly, is all of Nelson County. So I'm working on a couple projects with tourism, the chamber, throughout, to really encompass the entire county. This is not just Bardstown. It's not just, walking distance of the Welcome Center. If you're in New Haven, Boston, Bloomfield, anything like that, we want to see members and see businesses included.
Here for everyone.
Yes.
No matter how far you are, we are here. Just give us a call. I'm glad you said that.
Right.
Gotcha. Well, I suppose we're going to have to wrap things up here. We've kind of, I guess, exceeded the time we got here. It's a good thing I checked the clock there. I should have checked it sooner, but it's great having you guys in.
Yes,
Thanks
thank you,
again.
Ryan.
Thank you.
Awesome.
For this Chamber Chat here on WBRT. And if you missed a portion of the program, you can catch it on our Facebook page. It'll be up for about a month hereafter. And, don't worry. If you can't catch it within that time, we'll have another one coming up for you next month as well. You're listening to your hometown radio station, WBRT.